Hello, I'm Ian Henschke, the Chief Advocate at National Seniors, and welcome to another edition of PAM, our National Seniors Policy, Advocacy and Media video newsletter. One of the biggest issues facing tens of thousands of our members, and one for millions of Australians, has been the issue of deemed interest rates. Now, this is where the government deems you've earned a certain rate of interest. Well, up until mid-July, the government said they deemed you were earning 1.75% on money for a single person up to $51,800 and 3.25% over that. Now, this was just unfair because there were 5 interest rate drops over the last 4 years and then 2 in quick succession just in the months following the election. It was also bad news for those with savings accounts, and that's why we fought so forcefully for deeming rates to be lowered, and we had a bit of a win. Even so, we're still fighting for fairness, because the deeming rate affects the amount of pension you receive. Now, to leave the rates unchanged for more than 4 years, while there were 5 interest rate drops by the Reserve Bank, showed us that the government was balancing the budget on the backs of pensioners who had their money in savings accounts. Now, you can't regularly demand, as the Treasurer and the Prime Minister both have done, that the big banks pass on those full cuts in interest rates when the Reserve Bank lowers its rate and not do the same for pensioners. It's not a good look. So, after a relentless campaign, the deeming rates have been changed. They've been dropped from 3.25% to 3% for a single person having an amount above $51,800 and 1% for amounts under $51,800. But the deeming rates must be adjusted more. The upper deeming rate is now a full 1% above what you can get at a bank. Now, the government has said even the win itself is going to cost them $600 million over the next 4 years. So that shows you that hundreds of millions of dollars have been banked by the government at the expense of pensioners. Now, look, I'm talking to Minister Anne Ruston from the government and also the opposition and the crossbenchers about this sorry state of affairs, and we hope that we can get more changes. But if the rates are not dropped further than this, then you can only see this as a pensioner tax. It's a tax on savings accounts, and it will be something that we'll fight all the way up to the next election. Now, you can't have credibility as a government attacking the opposition over a retiree tax and then have a deeming rate there, which in effect is a pensioner savings account tax. It just doesn't work that way. You can't have it both ways. Now, this affects hundreds of thousands of pensioners. It also affects tens of thousands more who apply for the Commonwealth Seniors Health Card. So National Seniors is calling on all sides now to take the politics out of the pension, give a fair go to pensioners, have an independent body to oversee both the deeming rates and the pension. Now, the Treasurer, Josh Frydenberg, has announced that he's going to have a review into retirement incomes. Well, he can start right here and have an independent body set the deeming rate, and it should be linked to the Reserve Bank cash rate. Now, National Seniors believes an independent tribunal would take the politics out of pension setting. It would also alleviate some of the chronic poverty being faced by pensioners. We need to have the pension set by an independent tribunal so that those people who are living below the poverty line can at least survive on the pension. So we've teamed up with Australia's oldest charity, the Benevolent Society, and we're fighting for a fair go for pensioners. It's part of the Fix the Pension Poverty campaign. Now, the age pensions become a prime target for federal budget savings, with an ageing population and the overall cost being used to justify cutting the number of people on the pension. Now, many part pensioners lost access to the pension back in 2017 when changes were made to the assets taper rate. Others also became ineligible for the Commonwealth Seniors Health Card. The unfair deeming rate has now added more pain. So the discussion around the age pension has become somewhat toxic because we now hear younger taxpayers saying that they are bearing the burden of the older generation. Well, I've just been to Canberra for the winter session of Parliament, and I've reminded everyone I met, as your advocate, that 1 in 3 voters is now over 60. And they're going to be watching and they're going to be judging all political parties by their policies and their actions. A final point to consider is the fact that pensioners who get a little bit more money in their pension as a result of the changes we're fighting for will spend that money and they'll stimulate the economy. So in the present flat economic environment, it makes sense to give a bit more to the pensioners. We've also been busy fighting for older Australians who are pushed out of work and onto Newstart. And it's sad to think that the largest group of unemployed in Australia today are the over 55s. And that group is growing by 1,000 a month. So encourage other people to join. Join our campaigns and join our supporters groups as well. Thank you for your time. I'm Ian Henschke. I'll see you next time.